And we're at the 5th soap in the launch, the 5th of 7, and this one is honey, oat and citrus. It includes real oats, it includes some honey, and it includes citrus notes, and it's really, really lovely. It's slightly exfoliating from the oats, and it's quite stressful to make, as you'll see in a minute. If you want to grab a bar, they'll be available on Friday the 30th of August at 5 p.m. UK time or 12 noon EST. So here's my oils, and to my oils I'm going to add my kaolin clay because it helps with making a creamy bar, and it's also said to help with scent retention as well. So we're going to stick blend this in to make sure it's fully combined. And then what I'm going to do with this particular bar, because it moves very quickly, is to add my fragrance in with the oils and the kaolin before I add my lye mixture. And you'll see why in a minute when you see my lye mixture. So I'm going to stick blend that fragrance in a little bit just to make sure that it's fully combined, because I don't want anything not combining properly, because my lye is very thick. This is my lye water. The reason it's this colour is because I added honey and my colloidal oats to the lye water along with citric, and it's a very hot day when I made this, and if I hadn't have been using a tall jug I would have highly regretted it. Now the reason I do it this way and don't add my honey to the oils and things like that because I want that kind of singed caramel colour, and you get that by adding it to the lye water, because when it heats up it singes those ingredients a little bit. However, it does create a little bit of a lye volcano, so you do need to be wearing PPE and you do need to keep stirring it to make sure that it doesn't flow out of the jug, but otherwise it's perfectly fine. And then I add it to my oils like this and stick blend it really well, but as you can see it does reach trace and thicken up a lot very quickly. But luckily we're not doing anything with this other than putting it straight in the mould, so let's go do that. You'll see the texture looks a little bit curdled. It's just because it has the little grains from the oats in it, so that's completely normal. It gives kind of an exfoliaty kind of bar, but very soft exfoliation. It's really nice, and this colour will lighten as it cures. I'm just going to knock the air out and then smooth over the top, and then we're just going to do a really basic design on the top, just texture it a little bit, and then I have some whole oats just to sprinkle on top, and then once it's cut we're going to do something else with it. So let's leave this for 18 to 24 hours and come back tomorrow. And here's the finished loaf. You can see it's still a beautiful sort of honey colour, but it has lightened, and that's what I wanted. And because I singed the honey and added stuff to the lye initially, it has made it sort of a tan colour and keep that colour. I find if I do it the other way around and I add things to oils, it doesn't quite hold the colour as well, so that's why I do that. I've got a few air bubbles because it was very thick, but we're not too worried about that. Again, it's quite a rustic bar, this one. But we're going to cut this into bars, and then I want to do a sort of honey drizzle over the top with some melt and pour. So we'll do that in a moment once I've cut these bars, but you can see it's got a slight texture to it. They smell absolutely incredible, and they're really, really lovely to use, these bars. So I can't wait to share these with you in my launch, which will be Friday the 30th of August at 5 p.m. UK or 12 noon EST. And as you can see, I've only got 10 of each design that I'm doing. So if you want any, like I said before, you'll have to be quick. So make sure you're on the site at that time for opening so that you can get what you want, because I don't want anyone being disappointed. I may bring them back at a later date, but it will depend on popularity. So we shall see. But let's get these all cut and put on the board, and then we can do our drizzle. Right, so here I have some Golden Sparkle mica from the Soapery and some Stevenson's Clear Melt and Pour, and I'm going to add the mica to the melt and pour and give that a little mix around with my little whisk to make sure it's fully dispersed as possible and we don't have any lumps of unmixed mica. And then we're going to use it to do a little bit of a drizzle so that it looks kind of like runny honey drizzling over the top of the bars of soap. Pouring temperature for this was about 63 degrees C, and that seemed to do it really well. And here are the finished bars, and I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. They look really cool. I like the drizzle effect. I'll be using that on future bars. But if you want one, then remember the 30th of August. We're not long away now, and I've still got a few soaps to reveal, so keep watching the channel to see what those are. Thank you to my patrons. If you're not yet a patron and you would like some soap recipes, I do have some on my Patreon, though not the ones I'm selling. And I will see you in the next one.